guys, Jeremy from DSCsport. Today we got this 2017 Corvette Z06-Z07 package that's a C7 and it's going to get this DSCsport controller. So the first thing you guys are going to want to do is to turn the ignition on and turn the wheel all the way to the left. The DSCsport controller is going to go where the OEM controller is located, here behind the wheel well and behind the Z06 supercharged spot here underneath the fender. Typically on a Z06 it's a lot easier because here, as you can see, the fender is a little bit wider, a little more flared out versus your standard Stingray C7, which is going to be a little bit tighter, closer to the controller. So we're going to get this apart and show you guys how it's done. The best way to uninstall this, I'm using a special right angle tool. As you can see, it spins it off. A 7mm wrench will work perfect. There's going to be one down here, and you're going to have T15 Torx 15 screws as well that you're going to need to pull out once you get this plastic outer fender liner out. There's one here on the lower side. As you see, you can kind of see them right here. Essentially, they just come right out, just like that. Nice and easy, bam. So you got these three T15s, 1, 2, 3. That's all you'll need to do so you can pull this liner back up to your tire to access the controller. The controller right here, where my hand is touching, that is the OEM controller. It's metal. It's actually kind of warm right now, as it is definitely heating up my finger. So what you're gonna want to do, if you choose to unbolt the bracket with this shallow 10 that you see over here, down this way, right there, you will want to remove this connector off the bracket, which I'm going to do for you guys now. So to remove the bracket, I'm going to show you guys, I'm using a shallow 10, which is a smaller than normal 10mm socket, and this actually for me is a 3/8 small head swivel ratchet that I'm going to use to pull the bracket out. What I'm doing here is, again, I'm pulling the bracket for you guys, and I already removed the connector off the bracket. It's a small Christmas tree style push pin, which I'll show you guys right here. You can kind of see it. It just comes right out the bracket. And here I'm going to put my shallow 10mm socket with my swivel and 3/8 small headed ratchet. And I'm simply going to back off this bolt. Lefty, loosey, righty, tighty, guy. After you remove that 10mm, if you're pulling out the whole bracket, you're just going to do a light lift and pull away from the chassis, and the controller will loosen itself up. Connector that's got the same style Christmas tree push pin on the bracket. If you're choosing to pull the bracket, you want to make sure both those connectors are out before you do this. So what I did to get the controller out, I rotated the bracket like so, and here I have the controller. This is the two clips that when you get it mounted, so say this is how you look at it. This is how you look at it when it's mounted. You have to lift up and pull outward, like I said, towards the chassis. It's mounted like this, you go up and that way, and this clip will come right out. So essentially all you gotta do is pull both of these back simultaneously. Bam, done. Here is your OEM connector. That's simply a push down and up. So here it actually says to unlock it. So to unlock it, you pull this small tab down and you let the connector do the work. So here I'm literally pulling it up slowly, smoothly, and gently. And you see, do you guys see that? You see how the connector draws itself out? Once you hear that click, just lightly pull it out. This white divider always likes to come out during uninstallation of your OEM controller. So what you want to do is simply push that back in, make sure it's seated. Just verify all my pins are straight and they're even, which they look great. Good. The whole controller looks great. My connector in the back looks phenomenal. You can do this is look at the OEM controller. See the plastic divider here? See what side it's on? So see, essentially it would plug in like so, with the single row up top and the divider underneath like this. So this is how I'm going to install a controller. Just like this, single row on the top and double row on the bottom. I'm simply going to just lightly guide it in. See, here we go. And see, you notice how I'm almost grabbing the bottom of the controller? It's better to grab it right here, because if you grab it down the bottom, you're just going to be putting force to the controller. See, connector doing the work. Look at that. Snaps right back in. So when you get the controller installed, before you actually get it fully installed and back in the car, you want to test start your car with the controller connected. So here I'm going to test start the car, make sure the wheel is free for movement, as well as I can switch modes. Here everything looks great. I don't see any issues. There's no service suspension codes. We're gonna make sure we can turn the wheel, which I can. See how I'm able to switch modes, no problem. And this specific gentleman had his in sport, and from now on it'll be memorized in sport. So now during the next key cycle, it's going to stay in sport. You won't have to keep switching back to your sport mode anymore from, I guess, Econ that would be on your C7 Corvette. I'm gonna get this customer back on the road, our DSCsport newest family member John, so he can enjoy his ride today in his Z06 Z07 package C7.